This week's energy is the Three of Pentacles. And it's a week about teamwork, cooperation, using your talents to the best, and doing a job well done. And for some of you, maybe you're focused on professional growth or increasing your status in some way. Maybe you're trying to gain some kind of expertise. Maybe you're earning a degree or a permit or getting a license. And so there's a focus on getting assistance from others and doing work for others. Now, some of you, this may involve home and property improvement. Maybe you're taking a closer look at some damage or making some improvements. You could be getting some bids or some estimates, especially given the disastrous weather we've had over the past few weeks. And so you may be connecting to people, craftspeople, people who work with their hands, people who build or create. And so you may be doing some kind of an assessment and looking at the standard of something. For some of you, you've invested some time in something and you're taking a step back to look to see what works, what doesn't work, how can you improve it. Maybe there's a chance to earn money, or maybe you're even getting the reward of something that you started. So this is a week about doing some planning where competency, talent, skill, and expertise is very important. So it's about hard work, diligent effort, and in some cases, that perfectionism that makes you want to reach for more, to do the best. And it's a week where you clearly see what's working, what's not working. And, once you look at everything and you dot the I's and cross the T's, look at the details, it could be a very favorable week to launch something that you've put a lot of time, energy, and effort into, something that's well thought out. Or perhaps you're taking an established job or relationship to the very next level. So this is a week to conclude some things, wrap something up. If you've been working on a project or you're concluding your studies, you clearly know now what's working and what's not working. And it's a week where you're focused on getting the most bang for the buck. So this week you have an inclination to save money or save time or save energy rather than expend it. For some of you, this is about face-to-face meetings. You may be meeting to go over something, meeting to go over an assessment of some kind, or maybe you're having a job interview. So there could be discussions about, centering on what is effective. Now, negatively, this is not putting in that effort. It may be cutting corners. You may be dealing with poor craftsmanship, shoddy work, half effort. It could be a week where, you don't have work or you're dissatisfied with your work. You may even, lose the ground that you've been on. Maybe you're being demoted in some way or passed over for a promotion. And possibly because of a lackluster performance, or maybe there's a lack of direction or ambition. And so your heart's just not in it and it's starting to show. For some of you, maybe there's a lack of knowledge. You need more training or you need more education. It can be inadequate skills that's holding you back, or maybe criticism of your effort. And it could be also the opposite end of the spectrum. Maybe you're overqualified for something, and so you can't really use your talents or your knowledge. Maybe you're not in the right field. Maybe you haven't been able to find work in the field that you've been trained for, and you've had to settle for something less. And so maybe you feel like you're getting very little respect. Or maybe there's too much concern for recognition. You need that approval. You need the social status that comes with something. So for some of you, this is a week where, you're focused on that lack of direction, where you're headed and where you may be falling short. You may feel like something outside of yourself is holding you back. External circumstances in some way. Maybe you've got a lot of family obligations, or you're embroiled in emotional drama, or your relationship is off track. And now your personal life is spilling over into your professional life. And maybe you feel like if you didn't have all these needs, demands, insecurities, you might actually be able to make some kind of progress. You're just dealing with too many insecure personalities. And it may be, in some cases where there's conflict caused because there's been some kind of misrepresentation or the accusation of such, especially if there was shoddy work or someone failed to deliver on something. In some cases, maybe even going to court because of it. So there are accusations between persons concerning material and emotional misrepresentation. And naturally, if this is a week that is bogged down with a lot of emotional clutter, a lot of loose ends, a lot of things that need to be taken care of or redone because they were done poorly the first time, this isn't going to be the week to start something new, obviously, because a project, a new endeavor is not going to go the way you hoped. It may not be able to hold your attention, and you may not enjoy it as much because there's so much other stuff hanging. So for some of you, it may be that, the effort that you have to expend in everyday travel is problematic. Maybe it's very complicated. Maybe there's some detours, or given certain circumstances, it's hard to get from A to B. It's costly. It's frustrating. So that could be an issue. In the positive, this is about talented individuals, competent workers, people who are very careful, thorough, and fair.